I'm Davy. I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling-related things, all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. And this week, those of you who watch me regularly, you know I love wrestling championships, you know I love to mark out on the belts, and you know I like to put one companies against another's. This week, I was kind of thinking about the fact that we used to have NXTUK, which was really awesome. I miss it. But they closed it, saying that they were going to rebrand it as NXT Europe, and that it was going to come out sometime in 2023. And all they've said since then is, yeah, it's still coming, but we've heard no word. So if we ever actually get NXT Europe, maybe I will pit NXT Europe's championships against NXT's or its predecessor, NXT UK. But for now, I thought, let's take a trip back a year and pit NXT UK's championships against NXT's. Now, NXT UK was not around long enough to have a bunch of different variations of their belts. The really only variations they had was when they went from buttons to Velcro. But let's pretend that didn't happen. NXT has had a few variations, and I'm going to go with NXT's best variations versus NXT UK's. Not to mention NXT UK only had 4 championships, whereas NXT currently has 5. Then again, one of those came from NXT UK. At one point, they did have the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, but it's gone. I don't have a category to put it in, so who cares? So, let's get into this. NXT UK versus NXT Belt Battle. The first category, the Tag Team category. For NXT, their current version of the Tag Team Championships is my favorite. They look really nice. I love the nickel on the gold plating. Definitely a step up from their predecessor. Only issue I have is it is time to get us a new Tag Team Championship. Then again, right now, the current state of NXT's championships, I think it's kind of time to get rid of all of them and get new ones. But these ones, even though, in my opinion, they've been around a little bit too long, they're getting a little stale, they're still very beautiful looking Tag Team Championships. Versus NXT UK's Tag Team Championships. Absolutely love them. I thought the design was gorgeous, especially on the main plate. Not only was it gorgeous, but there was just something about the design that screamed prestige. The only issue I ever did have with the NXT UK Tag Team Championships was they were a little small. Like, you put them on a big guy, they kind of looked like a belt buckle. They didn't necessarily look good on everybody. Then again, the current NXT Tag Team Championships don't look good on everybody. However, despite the fact that I think that NXT UK could have made them a little bit bigger, I still like them a lot better than the NXT Tag Team Championships. So, in the Tag Team category, NXT UK gets this one, making it NXT 0, NXT UK 1. In the mid-card category, NXT has the North American Championship. It's the same version since it came out, only difference is the Velcro, and I've never liked it. The strap is way too big, way too bulky. This doesn't look good on anybody. In the center, it's just a circle. It's very plain looking. It really feels like there wasn't much effort put into this championship design. Even though I know that wasn't the truth. At the time, Triple H was running NXT. He's a big fan of that old Big Green Championship, and he wanted something that kind of resembled it, but I don't think it worked in this case. Since the time it came out, I've been waiting for them to redesign the North American Championship. And they still haven't, and it still disappoints me. However, that is versus NXT UK's mid-card championship, which was the NXT UK Heritage Cup. Their mid-card championship was a trophy. I loved NXT UK, but that was my only and real big criticism, was that your mid-card title is a trophy. Not only is it a trophy, but it's kind of divisional. Now it's in NXT. For some reason, they decided to bring it back. And it's the NXT Heritage Cup. And they're competing over it. And it's stupid. First of all, I'm not a big fan of titles where every match has to be a certain stipulation. In every Heritage Cup championship match, it is British rounds. 6 rounds that either end on a pin or a submission. If they don't, it just goes to the next round. If there's a tie, judge's scorecard. Now, don't get me wrong, I like British Rounds matches. I think it's a good gimmick match. It can come around once in a while. But even though I like gimmick matches, I don't want them every single time a title is defended. Like, I like cage matches, I like ladder matches, but I don't want the ladder match championship. The only time I've ever felt that that has worked was for some reason in Ring of Honor, the Pure Championship. And it only works because there's not much to it. It's basically just old school rules where, yes, you can lose the title on a disqualification or a count out. You're not allowed to punch with a crow's fist. The only real stipulation they put in there different was only 3 rope breaks. So it kind of works being a divisional championship, not their mid-card. And when NXT UK first announced the Heritage Cup, I honestly didn't think it was going to be their mid-card championship. I thought it was just going to be a tournament where you're going to win a trophy, where you're going to win it, you're going to be boosted up, and that was going to be it until next year's Heritage Cup tournament. Kind of like right now how AEW has the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament. They win a trophy and a specialized belt, but they don't defend it. It's not a championship. It's just prestigious. Or WrestleMania, well, now WrestleMania adjacent, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. You win a trophy, and that's it. We move on. But for some reason, NXT UK decided to keep it around and make it something they were going to defend all the time. And I hate it. And I hate that NXT brought it back. And I hope they retire it soon. Because even though I don't like the NXT North American Championship, it automatically wins because at least it's a championship belt, not a trophy. This is wrestling. They don't compete for trophies. They compete for belts. So surprisingly, NXT wins in the mid-card category, making it NXT 1, NXT UK 1. Then in the women's category, the NXT Women's Championship. I went with the previous design because I like it a lot better than that multicolored crap they got going on now. The NXT 2.0 championships, I absolutely hate them. This one, okay, it wasn't very flashy. It was a simple design, but I liked it. You had the nickel on top of the gold. Of course, it was WWE, so it looked almost exactly like the men's, because that's what they're doing to show that, hey, it's just as prestigious, but like I constantly talk about prestige and how it's defended, not in how it looks. Because kind of like right now, as of this filming on the main roster, when it comes to the men's, which would I say is more prestigious? Right now, it's Roman Reigns' undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Even though he doesn't defend that much, he's had it for a long time. It's the one everybody wants the most. It's the one that the fans want Roman Reigns to lose the most. It's more prestigious than the World Heavyweight Championship. However, as far as the women's go, the WWE Women's World Championship, in my opinion, is much more prestigious than the WWE Women's Championship. And to me, that has all to do with how Rhea Ripley has been going about being champion. Nothing against Io Sky, I love Io Sky, but the way Rhea Ripley has been defending it and upholding it, hers is much more prestigious right now. However, the NXT Women's Championship was a beautiful title. Was. Until they decided to let a child go nuts and color all over it. But that versus the NXT UK Women's Championship, which was absolutely beautiful. Again, it looked almost exactly like the men's. The only difference was white strap versus a black strap, but it did work very well in this case. And that design for the UK Championship, when it first came out, I've talked about it before, and I still feel this way. I don't get how they saw that and didn't say, you know what, this needs to be our main championship because it was so freaking beautiful. It was the same shape, but the design on the main plate looked so much more prestigious, looked so beautiful. It was definitely better than just their logo. In this category, gotta give it to NXT UK, making it NXT 1, NXT UK 2. Which brings us to the Men's World Championship. Again, with NXT, I went with their previous design, because I cannot stress enough how much I hate the current design. It is unbelievably ugly. I will say current designs, the women's is a little bit better because the white strap works a little bit better with all the colors on the plate. It's still horrible. The last design, yeah, it was very simple. It was just a gold plates in NXT, but sometimes there is beauty in simplicity. Even though it wasn't the flashiest, it was still a much nicer looking championship. I loved it very much. And I definitely thought it was an improvement on the one it replaced. The big strap that just had a big X in the front with the little N and T next to it. This one was much better. It was a step up. Then they took a step down. Hopefully soon we take another step back up. But that versus the NXT UK Championship, which started out as just simply the UK Championship when they had the UK tournament. We had no idea what was going to happen with that title when it first came about. We didn't know if this was basically just going to be a tournament and that's it. Done. We didn't know if they were going to make a new league. For a while, it looked like it was going to become the mid-card championship on NXT. They didn't have the NXT North American Championship at the time. They were occasionally defending it on NXT, but it did seem a little bit weird that their mid-card title would look so similar to the main roster's main championship. But then they announced NXT UK. this was going to be their main championship, and I was like, okay, sure. Waste your best looking championship on your brand new UK-based promotion, but okay, whatever works. But honestly, like I've talked about, even with the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which I do like very much, this is, in my opinion, the best looking championship they have come out with since the Undisputed Championship in the Ruthless Aggression era. So NXT had no chance of winning this category. Making the final tally, NXT 1, NXT UK 3. NXT UK had better championships. Then again, in my opinion, NXT UK was a very good product. At the time, NXT was a good product too. It's kind of gone downhill in the last couple of years. But there was a point that the two were competing over which one was honestly more exciting to watch. When they got rid of NXT UK, they announced that they were going to be bringing it back as NXT Europe. And there's been no word since. Hopefully they're still going to do that. Hopefully that will have better looking championships. And hopefully it'll be just as exciting as NXT UK was. But hopefully, unlike NXT UK, they'll have an actual mid-card championship and not a trophy. I do miss NXT UK, and I honestly miss when NXT was a lot better. But this one was all about the championships, which NXT could never compete about that. So there you have it. This is my wrestling review this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications when I post the videos, and leave a comment. Tell me if you agree with my rankings. Tell me if you disagree. Tell me if you miss NXT UK. Tell me if you want WWE to get off their butt and finally get out NXT Europe. Love you guys.